I hope you're doing well. Today I want to talk about something that's really important to me, and that is Twilight. I know Twilight is old news, but what can I say? I like them older. I'm kidding. I was first introduced to Twilight when it first came out in theaters, and I went to see it with my best friend, and we thought it was cinematic art. So that's kind of where my love for Twilight comes from. My older sister was also like crazy about the books. But at the time, my reading skills were not that great. So I was just kind of, waiting for the movie to come out. But once I figured out how to read when I was like in the 7th grade, I figured that it was the perfect time for me to start reading the Twilight series. So as the years passed, people kind of started hating on them, and for a brief period of time, I was like, haha, yeah, Twilight's stupid. Because, the bandwagon was rolling through, and I wanted to be cool. But I remember getting to the point in the Breaking Dawn book where Bella was, like, giving birth, and I was just like, okay, I think this is where I draw the line. Like, I think this is where I'm gonna stop. Like, Stephanie Meyer's, this is where you're losing me, because that was nasty. So I didn't finish that book, but me and my best friend, the one who I saw the first Twilight movie with, and the one who will, to this day, only watch Twilight with me, love you, girl, we went to see Breaking Dawn Part 1, and we lied about our age to get into the movie, because we're fans. But yeah, honestly, what a rush. But yeah, so the reason I'm talking about this is because I have a lot of thoughts on the whole series, and I've ranked them from worst to best. So if you're interested, that's what we're doing today. Generally, I think the books are better overall, because you get like really immersed into the world that, Twilight is. But I'm just going to focus on movies, because, yeah. So, okay, at number 5, we have Breaking Dawn Part 1. This movie is the worst, out of all of them, because it has the worst soundtrack, it has the worst color scheme, it has that awful birthing scene, and just, like, honestly, having to watch Bella be so sickly during the majority of the movie is just like, it ain't it, And then, like, the newborn isn't even that cute, so, like, was it worth it? You tell me. At number 4, we have Breaking Dawn Part 2. This one sticks to more of the original color scheme, which I can appreciate. And they also have that whole thing where they, like, assemble all of the vampires with all their superpowers, and they're, like, cool and hot and mysterious. But they also just kind of, like, pulled in Avengers out of nowhere, so, like, I don't know. This is also kind of on the lower end of the list because of that whole, like, ending stakeout thing. But, I don't know, at the same time, I kind of think it's funny that, like, this group of all-powerful vampires was, like, scared off by some vision that, like, maybe could happen, but also maybe couldn't happen. But I don't know, I think it's funny that they're just like, LOL, never mind, bye. And obviously I hate the whole, like, imprinting thing with Jacob and the baby. Like, no ma'am, no, not for me. For 3, we have Eclipse. The tea is, this one is boring. It feels like the villain is kind of coming out of nowhere, but it's also implied that she's been planning this for, like, 3 years, and, like, she gets defeated pretty quickly, and, like, I don't know, it's just kind of lame. The color scheme, I think, is nice. The love triangle part of it is, like, kind of old, and, like, the whole time, Bella and Edward are just, like, moping around, and Edward's trying to, get her to marry him. She keeps saying no, and, like, take a hint, dude, come on. Number 2, we have New Moon. This departs from the original color scheme, which I know I've been harping on the whole time, but I can give it a pass because it's kind of like introducing, like, a new side to the whole Twilight universe, if you will, with, like, introducing the wolves. So, like, I don't know, I can kind of appreciate it, and yeah, whatever. I also think learning about the wolves is like way more interesting than learning about the vampires. And all in all, they're a lot less of a whiny bunch than the Cullens, so I'll take it. They also have songs like Meet Me on the Equinox by Death Cab for Cutie, and that slaps. So there you have it. Number 1, you guessed it, we have the original Twilight. Basically, I don't know, this is where it all started for me, and I also think it's the best book in the series. I know we're not talking about the books, but I do think it's the best one. In both the book and the movie, we learn just a lot more about Bella and Edward, and, like, we kind of have a sense of why they're actually into each other. Like, they actually try and learn about one another, and, like, I think that says, like, I don't know, I think people are like, oh, like, he's just possessive of her, and, like, totally they're obsessed with each other, which, like, is true in, like, the later ones, but that's why I appreciate the first one so much, because there's, like, they actually are trying to get to know each other, and, like, you know, they're dating. I think iconic color scheme that we all know and love, and, like, the opening scene with the deer, like, you know, you could see that out of context and go, yeah, like, that's Twilight, I know that's Twilight, and I think that's really cool. And also, Bella, like, as a character, like, actually cares about the other people in her life, not just Edward, and I like that she is, like, she has other friends, and I don't know, I feel like we don't get enough of that in the later movies. Also, Jacob isn't whiny yet. Like, he gets progressively whinier and, like, you friend-zoned me, like, as the series goes on, and then eventually, you know, falls in love with her baby, and, like, so, you know, earlier Jacob is preferred. And, yeah, I guess this just has, like, a special place in my heart. But, yeah. Well, I'm sure there's things I forgot, but I feel like I covered everything. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.